Hello everyone, welcome back to our Laravel tutorial series. In previous video we covered the fundamental, what PHP is and how Laravel works, and also we have seen that the model view controller structure behind it. Now we have already taken the next step and set up our Laravel project. So now let's walk through what we did and understand it deeply. So yesterday we started by creating a new Laravel project using Composer. The command we ran was Composer create project Laravel blog app. The command we ran was this, which is a Composer create project Laravel blog app. So the command we ran was this. Now let's break down what happened here. Composer acts as our dependency manager. It downloaded Laravel and all the required packages. The create project part, or this part, create projects, holds the composer to generate a full application structure and also not just only install the library. In the blog app is the name of our project directory. We have already checked it yesterday in our local C. Our project will be named as a blog app. So during this process, Composer downloaded multiple components that make up Laravel. This will include the, we have seen that the routing parts, and also the database layer, and also the Blade template engine and authentication utilities. So all of these were installed inside the vendor folder. This is an important concept since Laravel is not a single file, it's a collection of structured components working together. So while the installation was running, what actually happened was Composer resolved dependency, downloaded packages, and assembled a complete framework inside our project. That is why installation took some time. It wasn't just creating file, it was building a full development ecosystem or environment. So the term dependency management is related to the composer. Instead of manually downloading libraries, we allowed composer to handle everything. This ensures consistency and make it easy to maintain and update the project later on. So this is how modern software development works. So after installation, we have moved into our project folder. We have seen that there is different kinds of uh, files and resources have been here. So while we run the PHP artisan serve, our next command was a PHP artisan serve. This is PHP artisan serve. This PHP executes the PHP interpreter. Our PHP executes the PHP interpreter, while artisan is a Laravel command line tool, and serve is instructed Laravel to start the development server. It will automatically start our development or our local development server. So effectively, in general, we told run this application locally so that we can see it in our browser. In more general sense, artisan, the term artisan is core parts of Laravel. We will use it in various forms like PHP artisan migrate, PHP artisan key generate. We will use in different places. So It provides a command that automates development tasks. Instead of manually configuring things, we use artisan to run server, create files, or manage our database. So this is significantly improve our productivity. While we run this, what happened behind the scene is that when server started, Laravel went through its initialization process. That means it loaded configuration files, registered servers or services, and also prepared the routing program. This process is known as bootstrapping. That means every time the request is made or the request is up, Laravel goes through this life cycle. So we opened the browser and visited that our link is working since our server is run locally. So we have seen that our homepage is welcome to Laravel tutorial series. So when we run our server behind the scene, we open the browser, then the request was sent from the browser, then Laravel receives the request, and then Laravel processes it, and Laravel returns our what we call that our response. So everything will be seen after running our application. At this stage, the application was running locally. That means it was only accessible in our machine. This is how a developer build and test application before deploying them on the internet. So to sum up, what we have done yesterday or in our previous episode was we have created a project using Composer. We installed all dependencies. We understand how Laravel is structured. We start the development server and access the application in our browser. So this is the completed initial step of our development environment. Okay, let's create the next. Yeah, the next step is creating our database. We need to create a database. So at the end, when we run our program, we see the modified welcome page. We have done it yesterday. Welcome to Laravel tutorial series. So now that the application is running, the next step is to connect it to a database, because right now the application can run, but it cannot store any data. So in the next step, we will solve that by configuring SQLite. So configuring SQLite database is our next move. Now we are moving into one of the most important parts of any application, that is the database. Until now, our application can run, but it cannot store any data. And without database, your application cannot remember anything. So in this step, we will configure SQLite, a simple beginner-friendly database. I have already created a database named SQLite. So, or you can create using a touch database SQLite. I've already created it. You can use to create using this command, or sometimes a Laravel can create a database.sql file by default. So you can skip this step. So next thing is setting up our environment or env. So our DB connection is SQLite. SQLite is different from database that we are already familiar with, like MySQL. Instead of running a server, SQLite is just a file. That means it's single file. Yes, it's a single file. So this file contain your entire database. This means no installation, no username or password, or no server setup. That is why we use it for learning in the cube project. So next step is setting our DB path. So our DB database path should be the path of our this database file. So let's uncomment this and let's copy the path of our database. So path for database is, we need the path for this. So here is our path. We are going to copy this and we can put it here. Next thing is database.sql, the file name, which is database.sqlite. So our path should be like this. So DB connection SQLite, this tells Laravel to use SQLite as a database system. So Laravel supports multiple databases including MySQL and also SQLite and PostgreSQL. That we will use it on production. So this line selects which one to use. When we say DB database, this tells Laravel where our database file is located. So Laravel needs to know where should I read and write those data. So if path is wrong, Laravel cannot connect, so our app will be broke. So always you need to make sure that this path is correct. To check that, you can run the default application. If it's wrong, it will not work. If it's right, it will work. Now let's check it. So it's running. That means it's getting our database path. Let's stop our server and check it again. Sometimes you need to be sure. So it's working. So it's getting the database path. Now let's run PHP artisan migrate. PHP, sorry. Let's run it here. PHP artisan migrate. In my case, there is nothing to migrate since I've already done it before. So nothing to migrate. Actually, this is a very important command. Migrate means create database structure using code instead of manually creating tables. Laravel does it for you. So behind the scene, when you say migrate, or when we say, or when you type the command migrate, it looks at migration files, converts them into SQL, then executes them on your database. So even though you don't see SQL, Laravel is running it. So while migration runs, Laravel is creating table like user, password, receipt token, or migration. So these are default table needed for authentication and system tracking. So in your migration, you see user tables, you see migration tables. These are default table needed for authentication and system tracking. Our next stage is routing. We have already modified it yesterday. When we say use eliminate support facades and routes, this facade is this line imports the root system. That means Laravel use something called facades is to simplify complex systems. Root is one of them that is used to simplify complex systems. So it allows to define URL or our path easily. So when we write a root get, this defines a route. Get means when user visits URL, it means get that data. So when the user visits the URL or our website, it gets the homepage or this what we call is that welcome to Laravel tutorial series. This text. So this means when someone visits homepage, do something. When someone do this, do something. So we have a function. This function is a block of logic. That means when root is triggered, this function runs. So return means that means this tells show homepage view or return this. So Laravel, for example, yesterday it was return view home. There is something called home here. So Laravel will look inside of what we call that blade and return something the UI that's inside our blade and it renders it. So roots connect URL to the logic. So without roots, your application cannot respond to user. So this is the entry point of every request. So next, our next move will be creating a reusable layout. This is how a real application avoid repeating UI codes. So our next step should be creating a UI. Now let's create our UI or some blades. We need to create modern UI foundation for our pages. So to create UI, you should go to the resource. Under resource, there is view. There is only welcome blade.php. This is the default welcome page for the Laravel. So now here we need to create a folder called layout. Let's create folder layouts. So we have created a folder layouts. So under this, let's create a file app.blade.php app.blade.php. So app.blade.php. So to save our time, I have already created a modern UI for my blog app. So I will explain each and every code to you to understand it better. So we will start from here. This is our basic HTML header. Our title is blog app. And also here is the Google font. This default Google font. This loads the custom font from Google. That means it improves the look and the feel your application. Next is our body style. Our body style includes font family and also some backgrounds. This defines global styling. That means font family or typography and background, which is a gradient UI. This creates a modern look. So next is our container. It ensures your UI doesn't stretch too wide. Next is the cart. After we set the container, next is the cart. This creates the card UI. Cards are used in modern design systems like SaaS apps, dashboards, and blogs. We will see it after creators. So we have buttons and button hovers and input method, and also our header one. The main thing is here the term yield content. This yield content is one of the most important blade concept. It acts like a placeholder for our what we call is that for our cards and project blank spaces. So other page will inject content here. So this is how you lay out reuse that works. So next we need to create our home page. So under layout, it's not should be under layout, under view. Let's create new file which is home dot blade dot php. Dot should be dot. If you made a mistake, if you make it like comma or something, it will not work. So you should be aware of that. Now we have created sorry, this home blade php must be outside of layout, because make it outside and then we extend it from this folder. It should be new file under views, which is not here. So we got resource under view, new file, not new folder, under view, new file, that's home dot blade dot php under view. Yes, we have home, and it should not be under what we call is that layout. It should be under home. The path should be views home dot blade dot php. So we will extend layout here in our home. That means extend will tells to use our layout file, which is appblade.php. We have already created here. So under our home blade.php, we use the extend layout app. This tells Laravel to use the main layout file. So this page inherits the design. So this allows to the page to inherit the design from the layout dot uh, the layout app, or using app.blade.php. Next is the section content. This defines the content for the layout. It fills yield content area. So it fills the content area. Next is its normal HTML file. This normal HTML, since Laravel mixes Blade and HTML, this is how we build a dynamic UI. The last is in section. This closes the section. That means everything between section and in section gets injected into the layout. So now let's check our UI. See, there is nothing changed here. To get our change, we need to assign something to the root files. So routing should be applied. So now let's go to the web.php. Instead of return welcome to Laravel tutorial series, we need to adjust something, which is, so yesterday we have removed the default root and make some strings. So instead of this, let's handle it to return our home blade. So we say it, instead of this string, let's allow it return. We have what we call is that view. Under views, return view. Then our function is, our blade is home. This is our blade, I think, home blade.php. So now let's run our server again. Sometimes we need to do it. Now let's rerun it. See, now we see a beautiful modern UI. So this is where we create a new blog. So this is our first step of creating the UI format for our Laravel. So here in today's section, we have seen that how database works, or SQL database works, and how Laravel connects to database, and how root works, and how view renders, and generally at the end how layout reuses UI. So this is the core foundation of a Laravel. But at this stage, we just have created a normal UI structure. So as the next stage, we will use a routing methods, and we will implement root operation and some other things that are needed to fully run our project. So our result in phase one, or in our today's episode, is just Laravel is running, SQLite is configured, and we've got a clean structure, beautiful gradient UI, and a reusable layout system. So on the next session, we will see routing, controller, and post controller structures. So thank you very much for today's discussion. Next session, we will see routing, controller, and post structure. See you then. Thank you very much.